I'm so glad that you found a house that you love and you are ready to make an offer.
Yes.
How excited are you?
Over the moon excited.
I knew you would.
But even like happier if they accept.
Exactly. Yeah. Awesome. So just need to go over a few things.
Okay.
We looked at an estimate for one of the first times that we met, and I showed you what the numbers are.
That was the paper that was telling me like how much my monthly payment would be, right?
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
yeah, I remember that.
But we're gonna go over it one more time because this is tailored to the property that you're making an offer on.
Okay.
So all of the numbers here are specific again to that property.
Okay.
So that's your estimate of cost, and then there's also a buyer's financial information that you'll be required to fill out.
So the first document that Tracy went over with Ebony was the buyer's estimate of costs. The buyer's estimate of costs is a document that goes through the total out-of-pocket that the buyer will need to close, as well as their monthly payments. The second document that they went through together was the buyer's financial information form. This form is required to be filled in by the buyer, and it discloses to the seller how much money the buyer has that they're able to work with to close on the home, their work information, if they own any other properties, and their debt. This will then help the seller determine how strong the buyer is to purchase the home.
All right, so you're good there.
Yeah.
The next one is the deposit money notice. So this is you're acknowledging that you understand what happens with your earnest money deposit being held in escrow until closing.
Okay.
And the final one is the big one. It's the agreement of sale or the actual contract.
The document that Tracy went through with Ebony is the deposit money notice. The deposit money notice is almost a receipt for the buyer acknowledging where their deposit goes to when they make an offer. The final document that Ebony and Tracy went through is the standard agreement of sale. This is the PA state approved document for buyers making an offer. The agreement of sale is a total of 14 pages and goes through the key points of the actual offer. So on the agreement of sale on page 2, it goes through the date that the buyer is making the offer, the price of the property, and this could be what they're asking, or this could be just what the buyer wants to offer. So it's basically the offered price. It goes through the deposit. If the buyer's asking for a seller's assist, so they're asking the seller to pay a portion of their closing costs, this is noted on this page as well as the settlement date. So the buyer gets to choose their settlement date, and any negotiations from between the buyer and seller would need to be done in writing. So the buyer's making this offer and putting all of this information on the contract. However, if there are any negotiated changes, everybody would need to sign an initial. In addition, it has the written acceptance date of the contract. So typically, most agents will make an offer and they ask for a response the next day, but that's not mandatory. Going forward, the agreement notes what type of zoning the property is. So Ebony's buying a house, so it would be zoned residential. The agreement also notes what's included with the purchase. So some standard inclusions. Again, not mandatory that they have to be left, but a lot of buyers may ask for the refrigerator, washer, and dryer. This must be noted in the agreement of sale as an inclusion. The document outlines the mortgage. How much are they financing? What lender are they financing with? The interest rate, as well as the mortgage commitment date. The mortgage commitment date is the date that the lender is committing to guarantee the buyer's loan. Typically, this is about 30 days out from the date of the contract. It also, the agreement notes if the financing is conventional, FHA, or VA, and the property must appraise for at least what the buyer is willing to pay. In addition, the agreement lists contingencies. So the buyer will have the right to get inspections done. The standard agreement is written that they have 10 days to get their inspections done, and during that time frame, they can either take the property in its current condition, they can release themselves from the contract, or they can try to renegotiate. On a standard home purchase, most buyers will get a home inspection, termite inspection, and radon. This does not mean that there's not additional contingencies that may apply, and the buyer would have the right to get those inspections as well. So again, buyers typically have 10 days to get this done. if they'd like a longer time frame, it does need to be noted in the agreement of sale. And then once their response to the inspection is made, the buyer and seller can negotiate from there. The seller will be responsible for providing clear title to the property. That is a cost that the buyer does pay for as part of their closing costs. And the title company will ensure them that there are no judgments and liens that can't be removed prior to settlement. And in a standard agreement, a non-as-is sale, the seller is responsible for providing a clear use and occupancy through the township that they reside in. In addition, the agreement notes different. There's different paragraphs in the agreement of sale talking about termination and deposit monies, but that's something that an agent would go through with the buyer when they're preparing the full agreement. And then on the last page, the buyer will sign. If the seller accepts their offer, they will sign as well. They must sign and date. If there are any negotiated changes, everybody must sign, date, and initial, and then the buyer would have an accepted agreement. So hopefully Ebony's offer gets accepted.
Do you have any other questions?
No, you were amazing at explaining it. Thank you.
Great. So I'm going to send you all of this electronically. So once everything is signed and in order, I'll get that back from you and I'll send it over to the listing agent. And of course, I'll let you know the second that I hear anything.
So you're saying they could potentially accept our offer today?
Of course they could.
And that's why I went with Team Smith.
Yes. That's right.